What's up with Jungkook's goodbye to Jimin? ARMY can't hold back tears. But is it all real? I'm not sure if everything will go back to how it was. Those words slipped from Jungkook's mouth, flat, calm, but leaving an unexplained emotional impact. It wasn't just Jimin who was silent at that moment, but also millions of ARMY hearts around the world that suddenly felt like they had been hit by a storm. Amid the euphoria of welcoming the end of mandatory military service, a simple statement shattered expectations. What exactly did Jungkook mean? Is this goodbye to Jimin, or to BTS? No one expected that at the moment when the good news about the completion of 80% of Jungkook and Jimin's military service was spreading widely, there would be a moment that would slap the expectations of fans. These two big names from BTS are indeed carrying out their duties in Division 5 with a good reputation. They are known not only as disciplined soldiers, but also for trying to maintain communication with fans despite their limitations. However, who would have thought that the silence that was created after Jungkook's words would actually create a wave of emotions that was far greater than just longing? The word goodbye is not something foreign to ARMY, especially after each BTS member took turns entering the military. But this time it feels different. This is not a farewell due to state obligations. This sounds like a deep emotional farewell from someone who has been changed by time, challenges, and unavoidable realities. Jungkook, the golden magne, actually revealed something far from the optimistic and enthusiastic image that he usually shows. Jimin's reaction to Jungkook's words became the main focus. There was no answer. Only a blank stare was recorded by the people around them. A fellow soldier in the barracks even revealed that the atmosphere between them had felt different since the incident. There were no more spontaneous jokes or hearty laughter as usual. There is an odd silence, said the source. For many armies, this change raises deep anxiety. Is this a sign that the dynamics between BTS members are starting to shift? Or is Jungkook experiencing a psychological burden that he cannot express explicitly? Speculation arose. Some consider Jungkook's words as an expression of emotional exhaustion, while others are starting to question whether BTS will really return as a unit. Judging from history, the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook is known to be very close. Since their trainee days until conquering the world stage, they are two figures who seem almost inseparable. They support each other, complement each other. And now, in the harsh and limited military barracks, they are back together. But is that togetherness enough to maintain the emotional closeness that has been established for more than a decade? When Jungkook's statement went viral on social media, ARMY around the world reacted quickly. Hashtags like #WeLoveYouJungkook and #StayStrongJimin immediately topped trending topics. Many were shocked, even feeling betrayed by the possibility that one of the members might not want to fully return to life as an idol. Others tried to think positively, considering this as a temporary phase of someone facing heavy pressure, but it cannot be denied that the impression left by the statement is too deep to ignore. Those words, which initially sounded ambiguous, have now become a symbol of collective anxiety. Are we going to lose BTS? Or are we just being given time to accept change? Jimin then tried to calm the atmosphere. In one official military communication session that was open to the public, he said, "We've been through a lot together. This is just another phase, and we know you're waiting." These words gave a glimmer of hope, but were not enough to quell the anxiety that had already grown. ARMY is not only worried about BTS's return, but also about what will be left after all this is over. Jungkook and Jimin are scheduled to complete their military service in June 2025. This means weeks until the end of their military journey. But for fans, a bigger question still hangs. What will happen after that? Are Jungkook's words a warning of a big decision awaiting? Is this a sign of a shift in direction for BTS as a group? Changes in a person's life after the military are not strange. Many come out of the military with a new perspective, with different life priorities. And if that's what's happening to Jungkook, then no one can blame him. But still, the sense of loss is real, and the fear of change is always a specter for fans who have pinned many hopes on the integrity of BTS. Meanwhile, the atmosphere in Division 5 continues as it should. Jungkook and Jimin are still carrying out their final duties. But the aura around them is now filled with question marks. Even their interactions are now judged by ARMY as a form of code, an unfinished puzzle. Will they discuss this further after leaving the military? Or will this topic be buried, becoming part of an unspoken past? ARMY is now waiting, not only for a music comeback, but also for clarification. They want to know if BTS is still on the same path, or is heading in a different direction. They want to make sure that this farewell is only temporary, not the beginning of something more painful. With time continuing to move towards June, those moments feel like a countdown to a big answer. Will BTS return with full force? Will Jungkook rediscover his passion on stage with his 6 brothers? Are the words "I don't know if everything will go back to how it was" just a mirror of temporary anxiety, or the truth that you don't want to face? No one knows for sure. But one thing ARMY knows, they will keep waiting. Waiting until the military gates open and Jungkook and Jimin step out, not only as soldiers who have completed their service, but as part of BTS who are ready to write a new chapter. Until that day arrives, the world can only wait in silence, with hearts full of hope and eyes that don't want to turn away from reality, because maybe, in every goodbye, there is a hidden hope for a more beautiful meeting. But this time, is Jungkook's goodbye to Jimin really a sign of a separation? Or is it just a short pause in a story that has not been finished? What's up with Jungkook's goodbye to Jimin? ARMY can't hold back tears. But, is all of this really true? When Jungkook's emotional statement spread widely, "I don't know if everything will go back to how it was after this," many hearts melted. It wasn't just Jimin who was silent, but millions of ARMY around the world were also choked by a deep fear. But now we need to stop for a moment. Take a deep breath. The question, did all of this really happen? Or, is this just a narrative exaggerated by the media to reap public attention? Let's be honest, none of us were there when Jungkook said those words. We only receive pieces of information from social media, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, even online forums like Weverse and Reddit, which are not necessarily sourced from official reports or direct interviews. We absorb emotions from 30-second videos, screenshots of conversations that are not necessarily genuine, or even sound snippets that could be the result of editing. So, the critical question is, have we become victims of algorithms that manipulate our longing and love for BTS? Then, why did this narrative spread so quickly? Why did thousands of comments appear in minutes? The answer may be simple, because the story about separation, doubt, and possible changes in the BTS group is a story that touches many of our emotional sides. But behind it all, is there a hidden motive being played by the media? Imagine this: 2 members of BTS, undergoing mandatory military service, living a life that is very closed off from the public. Then, suddenly, a private utterance spreads widely as if the world's microphone is installed in the middle of their private conversation. Doesn't this sound too dramatic to be just a coincidence? Who recorded the conversation? Where did the original source come from? Did it really happen? ARMY is not just a fandom. ARMY is a force. But that power must be used wisely. So, we want to know, do you believe that this separation between Jungkook and Jimin is real? Or is this just a story designed to grab attention and trigger emotions? Are we witnessing the truth? Or are we just participating in a baseless digital illusion? Give your opinion. Reflect on your feelings. And before you hair this news, ask yourself, am I helping to spread the truth? Or am I just prolonging the sensation? Because in a world full of voices, what matters most is not who is the loudest, but who is the wisest.